Well, for more, we can speak to Adrien Nonjon, a researcher at Inalco, a specialist on Ukraine here in Paris. Hello, and thank you for speaking to France 24. Looking at that soundbite, Zelensky's wearing an olive green T-shirt. We've seen him shed his presidential suit, and he's really become a sort of man of the people. Earlier in this crisis, we saw him speak in Russian to the Russian people, calling for peace. What do you make of how he's handled this invasion from Russia in his country?
Well, actually, right now, Zelensky does perfectly his role of war leader, actually. And also, why he was speaking to Russia because in Russian, because since 2014, the Ukrainian nation has understood that to confronting the threat of the Russian Federation, they have to stand as one people. So Zelensky does perfectly his role. Of course, he's an actor; he knows how to play, but he reveals himself as a perfect leader for this situation.
I'm wondering, more and more assistance is coming in for Ukraine, whether it's in the form of weapons from European countries, from the US, from Canada, also sanctions against Russia. Tell us, what does Ukraine need most?
Well, for the moment, actually, Ukrainian people are a bit are struggling in this right moment. So I think the priority, if we are speaking about foreign aid, it's mostly humanitarian aid for civilians who are fleeing or at least are staying to fight, and also for sure weapons.
We're also seeing this resistance organize in Ukraine, and quite remarkably so. It's done with guidance from the defense ministry on how to make Molotov cocktails, to dismantle road signs, to be active at night. And many people are fleeing, but many people are also staying to fight. Do you think that will make a difference?
Well, for sure, if we compare the Ukrainian military forces to the one engaged by Russia, for sure there is a big and not a balance between the two forces. But yes, as I told you, the Ukrainian people are resisting with bravery. And there is also in history, this tradition of a resistance against occupants and invaders. It dates back from the Cossack era, from the Civil War with Nestor Makhno, the anarchists, and also, yes, the nationalists during the Second World War. So, actually, yes, they are all the gathering of all these symbols, and the Ukrainian people believe in it, and they still want to fight and to do a last stand at least.
Now, we're in 4 days now of this invasion, of this war. Russia's growing increasingly isolated. Ukraine putting up a better fight than many people thought was possible. In the Kremlin, Vladimir Putin, we know he has a large ego. We know he doesn't like to be portrayed as a loser. Are you concerned that he might escalate the situation dramatically?
I think so. The president Vladimir Putin showed that he is going to do to finish his job in Ukraine, whatever the cost for his country, for his people. I think he's looking for historical symbols, which dates back also to World War II, where the Soviet Union took the Reichstag, for example. So I think now it's like he's hunting Volodymyr Zelensky right now, and he will finish the work, whatever the cost. Yes.
And do you think he has a play beyond Ukraine? Many people saying he's trying to restore the Russian Empire from 100 years ago.
Well, for sure, you have a first degree of a lecture by interpreting his speech, but I think that he wants to present himself, of course, to the Russian people as a great leader who can gather all these Russian lands which were divided after the fall of the Soviet Union. But also, I think right now he wants also to free Ukraine from, it's like a messianic and eschatological discourse he uses and for him, it's like saving Ukraine and the Slavic world from so-called Western decadence and liberalism.
We don't know what's ahead, but we did hear from the French president earlier this week that this will be a long, drawn-out war between Ukraine and Russia. If that's the case, there are obviously going to be consequences on European energy, on European security. What do you think those consequences may be?
Well, right now it's really difficult to project ourselves in the future. But yes, you are right. We will have to deal with energy issues because, for example, in France, the president of Total, the company, said if we wanted to reconnect France to other gas producers, it would take 3 years at least. So it's a bigger problem. Also for defense and military, I think also there will be a bigger mutation for European defense. I mean, the thing, Europeans are going to think about the European defense, and also we have seen that NATO is maybe going to operate a mutation, as in we saw in the Indo-Pacific area with AUKUS. Maybe we will see new initiatives. There was some talks between Great Britain, Poland, Baltic states, and even Romania to create a new kind of security organization. And also we can expect a Polish answer with the three Seas initiatives, which gather all the country between Baltic and Black Sea region to also transform themselves into to integrate, I mean, military goals.
Mr. Nonjon, thank you very much for sharing your analysis and your time with us.